It's not all doom and gloom for Democrats. Across the nation, the party's nominees for Senate and even the House outperforming Kamala Harris to defeat their Republican opponents, even as Trump carries their state. What it all means as Democrats reckon with losing the White House. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graph's Grievances starts right now. Without question, Americans were not inspired to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. While the popular vote is still being tallied, she is currently on track to lose to Donald Trump by more than 4 million votes. And even though America does not elect its president based on who wins the most votes, Harris's inability to do so is deeply troubling because it represents a direct rejection of her. At least when Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 election to Trump, despite winning nearly 3 million more votes than him, she could blame the un-American and undemocratic Electoral College for her loss. More Americans wanted her to be president, but the system was rigged against her. Harris does not have that excuse. And even if by some miracle she wins the popular vote, she certainly will fall far, far, far short of the 81 million votes President Joe Biden won 4 years ago. Yes, Harris is underperforming Biden in the popular vote by 12 million votes. 12 million more people voted for Biden than Harris. Biden's historic popular vote total, the most ever for a presidential candidate, allowing him to crush Trump 4 years ago by more than 7 million votes, win the Electoral College, and of course win the presidency. So while Harris's performance is deeply upsetting for Democrats and frankly just about anyone who believes in electing honest, decent, good people to public office, there is good news for Democrats. In 4 of the 7 most competitive Senate races on Election Day, Democrats look to have defeated their Republican challenger, despite Trump also winning the state. Let's start in Wisconsin. Trump flipped the state after losing it 4 years ago to defeat Harris 50% to 49%. Yet in the Senate race there, the Democratic candidate Tammy Baldwin defeated her Republican opponent 49.4% to 48.5%. Baldwin narrowly outperforming Harris. To Wisconsin's east, in Michigan, the same thing happened. Trump flipped the state to defeat Harris, 50% to 48%. While in the Senate race there, Democrat Alyssa Slotkin defeated her Republican opponent 48.6% to 48.3%. A very, very slim win, but still a win. Meanwhile, in the Southwest, in Nevada and Arizona, Trump flipped both of those states while the Democratic candidates for Senate appear to have defeated their Republican opponents. In Nevada, Democrat Jackie Rosen ahead of her Republican challenger 47.8% to 46.5%. And in Arizona, Democrat Ruben Gallego ahead of his Republican challenger Carrie Lake, remember her, 50% to 48%. So in Wisconsin, Michigan, Nevada, and Arizona, the Democratic candidate for Senate is defeating their Republican challenger while Harris is simultaneously losing to Trump in those states. That leads one to believe that Harris is specifically the problem. And Harris's problem is not her gender. Not her gender. The winning Senate candidate in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Nevada are all women. women who defeated Trump sycophants. Outside of these states, I also want to call your attention to Pennsylvania. Trump flipping the Commonwealth and defeating Harris there 51% to 49%. Meanwhile, in the Senate contest there, Republican Dave McCormick appears to have defeated his Democratic opponent, incumbent Senator Bob Casey. But unlike Trump's 2-point victory over Harris, McCormick is only beating Casey by 0.5%. Once again, the Democratic Senate candidate outperforming Harris. And I get that all of this is of little comfort considering that Democrats lost control of the upper chamber by losing Senate races in deep red Ohio and Montana. But even there, the Democratic Senate candidate outperformed Harris. This is actually good news for Democrats because it means, again, Harris is the problem, not everything the Democratic Party stands for. Most importantly, the strength of the Democratic Senate candidates prevented Republicans from winning anywhere near the 67 seats needed for a filibuster-proof supermajority, meaning Democrats will be able to stop much of Trump's agenda from ever getting through the Senate. Finally, I want to call your attention to the House. Despite Trump's huge win, control of the lower chamber has yet to be called. Democrats can still take back the House from Republicans and Speaker Mike Johnson. And even if Democrats do not succeed at doing that, Republicans look to have one of the slimmest majorities ever. According to the New York Times, in the 22 most competitive House races this year, Democrats have so far won 5, while Republicans have won just 4. The rest remain uncalled and could literally go either way. And regardless of which candidate wins in each of those districts, they are very unlikely to be raging MAGA supporters or far-left progressives. That is because their re-election depends on winning the same or similar moderate coalition that brought them to Washington in the first place. So while this has undoubtedly been a very bad week for Democrats, democracy, and decency, all was not lost. And you should not give up on the promise of this great country and everything it can represent. Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me in the next one.